Hello, everyone. This is Andrew Berman for Mortgage Leadership Outlook or National Mortgage Professional Magazine. I'm so excited to come to you on this beautiful Wednesday here in New York. It is snowing, and I got my good buddy, Denise Tragale, who's the Vice President of Wholesale Business Development, Stearns Lending, also in New York. And actually, we got a little treat. You could look over actually in our window. You can see the snow falling down here up in the Northeast.
Thank you, Andrew. Well, excited to be here with you. And yes, it is snowing. It's our first snowfall of the season, and you know how fitting a week before the holiday. It's kind of fun, right? We'll have a lot of shoveling to do later tonight.
I know, and it's not like actually this is going to be a little storm. We're going to get actually, they're calling, I think, a foot of snow potentially.
Yeah.
That first snowstorm of the year. Like, I'm always excited about it. Like, I'm always like, yes, I can't wait to go shoveling. It's like the fourth snowstorm of the year. I'm like, this sucks. I'm getting out of New York. We got to get out of New York. I do not want to live another winter in New York. But of course, summer comes.
Here we are, Andrew.
So very cool. So listen, Denise, you have a career that's just been dedicated to wholesale. I mean, and I want to talk about this. And so let's go back. Actually, what sucked you into the mortgage business? Because no one wants to get into the mortgage business.
It's a good story, and I will say that I always wanted to. My passion, and where I was going. I was a pre-med student. I was not slated for mortgages. Yeah, I know everybody makes that face. That wasn't the direction that I had intended. However, I think as I look back, I say I wouldn't have changed it and wouldn't have had it any other way. So, I mean, I love every moment and every opportunity I've ever had. It's helped me in many, many ways. So that is, it is an interesting dynamic, right? Pre-med to mortgages, but it's numbers, it's math.
How did that happen? Like, how did actually, so you're pre-med, and like, were you just getting like, hey, listen, I need I need a job to make a couple extra bucks, so I can, continue doing my pre-med. Yeah. So tell us about your first job in the mortgage business.
Yeah, I wanted a gap year. I said to my parents, you know what, I need a gap year. I just need a break. My first job was with Olympic Home Mortgage in Rosedale, New York, in Queens. I worked, it was a friend of the family that, helped me to get that job. I really was a copy girl, if I tell you not. That was back in the day when, credit packages, we'd have to deliver them to the investor, and they'd be stacked like, whoa high, maybe that high. I had to copy them. I literally copied the packages, and then we, FedEx them and mail them away. So, but I was there for 4 years, and I learned the business. I processed. I then became an underwriter there. And it was then that I went to the famous American Home Mortgage, woohoo. And, I really grew up there, right? So, was married, had my children while I was at American Home, so it was a lot of excitement in those early years, but there I had a great experience and really just blossomed, in my career. So again, as an underwriter, I was a DE underwriter. I always wanted to be working on the wholesale channel. So I always gravitated to pull those loans off the shelf. I'll do the wholesale loans. I like the customer. I enjoyed that interaction with the mortgage brokers. So it was at that point, pregnant with my son, that, they came to me and said, would you like to be an account executive? And I said, oh, wow, I'm pregnant. Oh, I guess so. I'll try it. And I managed the whole New York geography. So, so I was Long Island, from Staten Island, from Westchester, all the way out to the east end of Suffolk. I covered that geography.
Now, Denise, let me ask you a question. So they came to you with this. And by the way, like, who was that came to you and said, hey, you should consider this?
Yeah, it was Mike Strauss.
Mike Strauss. Okay, that's great. Okay, so Mike Strauss is, he started American Home Mortgage. You currently, started Sprout Mortgage. Just a legend in the mortgage business. just a great leader who's like this quiet person, relatively speaking. I mean, he doesn't actually like the glitz and glamour. You rarely see him actually, out at conferences, at least out on the public spotlight, right? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
So he tapped you and said, actually, Denise, you know something, you'd be great actually in sales. What did you feel like? What did that make you feel like? Did you actually instantly say, yes, I'm ready to do it? Or were you, a little hesitant to do that?
At first I was like, ooh, how does that all work? I'm going to go to commission. I'm a salary person, so of course I was a little, is this the right move? But I went into it, I went right into it. I was so excited about it, that I just loved it, and I dived right in.
That's awesome. So,
Yeah.
all right, so you dived right in. What was like your first, like, your first year, like, working as an account executive?
Oh, it was, that's a long time ago. You want me to remember all that, but it was great. Listen, with my background as an underwriter, working in an operations center, I was really fortunate, right? So all of the people that I worked with were my peers. So now my loans were coming in and reaching their table and saying, oh, this is Denise Tragale's loan. This is her customer. And, so they gave me that, white glove service. So I was treated very well. And so were my customers. But I think just at the level of, how to put a loan together and how to help them, structure a loan. I think that's really where my success really took off, because people were like, wow, she was an underwriter. We have an underwriter here. She's not just an AE, she's an underwriter, and she can do this. So I think from what my memory is correct, I'm here today. I did very well. And I loved it. I really loved it, wholeheartedly.
Yeah. So and some of the most successful leaders in the mortgage business are people that, have come through the ops, especially, underwriters, because you understand, actually the underwriting rules. So I think that's, that does not shock me at all. All right. So now, when did you actually, go from being an account executive to, taking actually, the bull by the horns and becoming a leader and leading account executives?
Yeah. So probably, in 2004-ish, 5-ish, I believe. My memory might not be 100% there, but, the Don Hennig, Lisa Shriver, my mentors, they tapped me on the shoulder and they said, Denise, we'd love for you to run the flagship branch, the wholesale branch, for American Home, which we were American Brokers Conduit. That was our name. And so I did that position. And with that, I managed the whole, the flagship branch wasn't just the operations, wasn't underwriting, it was also sales. Yeah. So I had about 20 account executives that reported to me. And, back then it was just, we had different locations, and it was by state. So we were in New York, right? So it was all in New York, including upstate New York. So that was my geography. And it was a true honor, especially at the flagship branch, right? My center was in corporate, I couldn't mess up. I had to do this right. And so I hired an ops manager who was my partner in crime. And, together we did it. And so that was my first, real experience of taking all of my expertise, both ops, including underwriting, and then the sales side, and putting it all together and really creating something that was truly dynamic. It was probably one of the, my heart pangs when I talk about it, because that was probably my most favorite position in that. Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about your mentors, and I'm going to put this up here. So we had the pleasure of getting another interview that you did with our good friend Christine Beckwith on Power Women. That was a show that's sponsored by our friends over at Class. So if you want to, I just dropped the link over there. You can check it out. You can nmplink.com/Denise T. You can watch that. But so in that, the reason I'm bringing it up is because you were talking about your mentors. So talk to us actually a little bit more about your mentors and what they did to you, like, and how did they empower you?
Well, I mean, back then at ABC, I think first of all they trusted me, right? They trusted me to run the center, and they were very honest, and I was one of their a student that I just I was soaking it all in. I wanted to learn everything from them. There wasn't anything too big for me, meaning that I was it was I've managed the P&L, right? So not only now did I have to manage the whole center, but I managed the financial component of the business. So I really was running my own business within the organization, and they really guided me every step of the way, with anything that I needed. And I say honesty is the best policy. Tell me as it is. How is this going as you think it should be going? Or I have this idea, and so we do a lot of that. Back and forth. To see. To make sure that I was on track doing the right thing. They taught me a tremendous amount. The business part I knew, right? So I knew mortgages, I knew that component, but running the business was a whole nother gamut, that they exposed me to.
So, and I mean, and obviously it did really well for you because you went on actually to American Brokers Conduit, CMG. I'm missing next. There's another.
Nation Star was a
yeah. So you like and obviously ARC. I mean, so you've been with actually Nation Star, huge company. CMG, huge company. And here we go actually. And now Stearns. I mean, the legendary Stearns Lending, and now actually your role is a little different at Stearns. So talk to us a little bit about I want to know what made you pick Stearns? Because listen, I got to imagine when opportunities. We got here she is, Lisa Schreiber. Denise has always been awesome. Her ability to learn and grow is a sign of a true leader.
Oh, thanks.
An amazing leader like Lisa, that is amazing. So that's there's a lot of people actually who would kind of agree with that, and I certainly do. So thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah. So tell us next. You have this opportunity. Stearns tapped you and said, "Hey, listen, we have this opportunity to put you actually in as the wholesale business development." We'll talk a little bit about that, but in a bit. But just talk to us about why Stearns. I mean, Stearns is actually this very well established brand. What turned you on to them?
As a dear friend said to me once, they're the Tiffany of the mortgage company, right? So I interviewed, and I interviewed with many companies, and I really, it was the first time in my career where I really could sit back and think, where is it that I want to be? Where can I best provide all of my experience in leadership and just experience in the business, how can I be the most impactful? And so I think, I could have probably been a regional. I could be, I don't necessarily want to be in underwriting or ops, to be honest with you. I'm a sales girl. True to myself, I am a sales girl. Stearns is just a dynamic company. They're the best in class. And, investing in me, in helping them to create, a sales support, it's sales support, ops support, just a support team, to me speaks volumes. And so I think, I've really hit a gemstone, right? And that doesn't happen so many times in your career. It happens. I mean, I find American Home was one of those opportunities where I grew and I blossomed. Now I have all this experience, and now I'm like, busting out of the seams. You want to share it all. And so Stearns is just a truly remarkable organization, and it's more about the culture and the leaders too, right? So, you could have an organization that's been in business for a gazillion years, but it's the culture that they create that really speaks volumes, and so many happy employees. And let's face it, this year has not, for lots of people, has not been an easy year, right? People are working from home, it's been a bit stressful. We're very fortunate in our industry to have such volume and be so busy. And the organization just recognizes how hard everybody works. I mean, I've never seen an organization be so cohesive with their employees. It's really, really a beautiful thing.
So now, how do you so you mentioned something about culture. How do you maintain that culture, when you're not even meeting anyone? You're not actually so you took this job, you didn't go to their headquarters, right? You never actually, had team meetings, with your team, with the 16 people that are on your team.
Yes.
So you've never had in-person meetings with these people, right?
No. And some of them are new. So some of them, I've known from the past. Some are new, some have been there clearly. But yeah, that is true. I mean, this environment doesn't allow that to happen. But I had an opportunity. I mean, I know some of the leaders there. So I felt very confident in the decision, knowing that I know them, and I've had interactions, maybe very high level, but I've sat around, a table at MBA secondary conference with all the heads of wholesales. I was there, so I sat around a table with some of these people, and I felt that for that, they seemed very genuine then. They seem genuine. They're genuine now.
So now let me ask you this. So here, but here we are actually, like this says something about the culture of Stearns. I mean, because here you're able to create a new position, a new team, that's from people that are already established there, and doing this where you're not able to meet face to face. So talk to us a little bit about, what do you feel is different about the culture of Stearns that maybe other organizations don't have, or just they can't achieve what Stearns has in terms of its culture.
Well, I will say I see them every day. So we have Zoom and Teams. So, I mean, I get ready, I put my makeup on, I am dressed to go for the day as if I was sitting in an office anywhere.
Yeah.
So I feel very connected. I don't, there's no sense of not feeling connected to the people you work with.
Yeah.
And I think this probably goes for a lot of organizations, just in this current state of where we are, where everybody's working from home. We've learned to use the tools that we have to keep us all connected. So I think for that, I don't really feel on an island alone at all, quite frankly. If I don't see their picture, I ask them to turn their camera on so I can see them. Because, you can't go a day without seeing people. It means something, right?
It does. It definitely does. Listen, I think for many organizations, it's brought people closer together. Many organizations, actually, they're having more face-to-face meetings because it's so much easier to do it through Zoom than everyone's meeting up in the conference room, which means they have to leave their desk, take that effort to do that. So people are talking about actually, it's allowing people to feel more connected. I know in our organization, I feel more connected to our people because actually, we're doing the Zooms and having our conversations like this. So that's great. So what tell us actually, about specifically, like, some of the things that you see that you're going to do with Stearns, with this actually, the wholesale business, the vice president wholesale business development.
Yeah. So, I mean, working on a lot of different initiatives, but I think, the overall theme is Stearns invested in me to help them, grow the support platform. And what I mean by support, I truly support sales. Like I said, I'm a sales girl. I love it. I love the customer. I was an AE. I adore AEs. I want to help them be successful. So, creating a lot of synergy with and providing the the AEs, the account executives, whether they're outside AEs or national AEs, the whole team, and providing them with tools to be super successful. So what are some of the things that can really take their business to the next level? But I don't do this alone, right? The organization is tremendous support, and I think it shows there's such an amazing commitment to the industry, to us, in allowing us to be able to spread our wings and help them grow in many fashions. So, we have a training calendar. It seems simple, right? It takes a village to create these, and help the AEs, be able to go out and have something to sell, something exciting. And we have tremendous amount of tools, at Stearns that I think, that the maybe AEs realize it, but I think this year people are so busy with just the sheer volume that you forget about what you have, right?
Yeah.
And so I think bringing it back to the basics, and providing all those, those niceties and those things, I think really helps the organization and will help them grow, right? And do much more volume is
Yeah.
the goal.
So when you say bring it back to the basics, what would you consider the basics?
I mean, so today, our AEs, I mean, they're talking to their customers on the phone, are they investing in time in Zoom, helping them, right? So, I mean, I was on a call with a group of AEs yesterday, and they said, well, how can I do that? Can I get a Zoom account? Can I do, just guiding them through some very basic things. So I think the tools or the tools or the things in the that you forget about that you can do because you're not physically going face to face with a customer. I think people sometimes, lose sight, oh, I can do this. I have to, and so sometimes it takes a third party like myself and my team to be the creative source to feel that, right? Say, here it is. Here's the presentation in an email. Here it is, and now you can go ahead and do it, right? So, and we have, I will say, extremely impressed with the sales team. We have the best in class AEs. I mean, they're truly the most professional group of AEs I've ever met. So again, we're not taking anything away from them. They can do it all by themselves, but we're really enhancing what they're already doing and really take them up another level. So truly magical, I think. I think that would probably be how I would define that, a magical experience.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So it's going from basic to magical. And by the way, I got to, we've got some great feedback here. First off, Gabby, I've always been so proud of my mom. I will always look up to her and hope to be like her. That's just beautiful. Like really, I just saw it has made me tear. And now, to talk about so here we have Steve Richmond, who is the amazing presenter himself, is calling you a rock star, presenter. So that's just
great.
Credit of that. That's great. So,
and I will say, I hope for my daughter, I work hard. I have throughout my whole career you have to have that work-life balance, right? And as a working mom, doing when I traveled a lot, you have to make sure you really have to have that balance. And you really have to know when to say, you know what, tomorrow's another day. I'll do it tomorrow. My family needs me. So that's always been very important. That's always first in my life, in my career. That's helped me probably to be more successful because I do have that balance. And I learned to work hard from my parents, right? So, we learn through our parents, what it is to work really hard, and, keep your foot on the gas pedal, don't let go. And I think that's helped me, through my entire career, keep me focused on what's most important is my family. My career is very important to me and I love what I do. And truly, very blessed to be in this industry for sure.
But so here you're actually, so obviously there's 2020, which is the busiest times of our business, but you're not so much involved in the production as much as you previously were. But you were in the 2000s when it was insane, when things actually just just going at an unbelievable pace. pace, you were at actually, the Tiffany brand when it came to especially actually in the alt-A space. There's no one better actually than American Brokers Conduit actually. But you had to work hard. Like, I mean, so how did you work for such a great organization that demanded so much of you? And when you say you didn't, you had a work-life balance, does that mean you were working only 60 hours a week and other people working 7 hours a week? What does that mean?
I mean, I tried never to miss anything important, right? So, concerts and things like that. I mean, there's probably a lot that I missed that I don't even remember. But I tried not to miss the important things for certain. I always made sure, especially when not traveling, that I was home for dinner. I had a great support system. My husband's amazing. So we had a tremendous support system around us that helped us, to keep everything in check, right? So it was, you're managing your business, you're managing the house, the family, you just do it. I don't know it any other way, Andrew. You just kind of get it done. If I had to work, come home, take care of the kids and then go back at it at night, then that's what I did, right, to get the job done. So you just do it.
All right. So throughout your entire career, with the exception actually when you first started getting into the business, you've been dedicated to the mortgage broker. What do you love about the mortgage broker?
Oh, I mean, well, I think I always liked the B2B for the fact that, they're they're somebody that I can relate to, right? So I think it wasn't the consumer, and I'm not saying anything about the consumer. Love consumers, they're great. I'm a consumer. But I think the mortgage broker working in a B2B environment was just for me. It was just something that I liked. And it started way back when I was an underwriter. I liked working on those loans versus, the retail loans at that time. It just is, and I became friends with a lot of mortgage brokers over the years. My network is nationwide now, so I have customers and friends from all over the country. And it's beautiful. It's great to know that I could actually travel to almost any state in this country, and I could pick up the phone, and there'd be somebody that I could go visit without a doubt, because
Awesome.
that was my customer for all these years.
That's great. That's fantastic. Well, listen, I mean, I love your story. I love actually, what sounds like you're setting up here over here at Stearns. Stearns is just it's like I said, it's a Tiffany brand. It's a great to see actually them bring on someone like you. Anything you want to say in closing before I send everyone out of here for the day?
No. I mean, listen, I think to any leaders out there, doing what I do, you always want to be honest, be true to yourself. Again, you want to work hard. Of course, you're going to play hard, right? But, I think the other thing that's so important that I constantly do, that I think others should also do, is you're always networking, right? Yeah. So, I'm always talking account executives, whether they're here at Stearns or they're not at Stearns, they want to come to Stearns, right? So you always are creating that connection. And I think that's important, and it keeps you fresh and current. And it helps you build those relationships throughout the industry. As big as the industry is, it's so small, right? Yeah. And so I so appreciate the opportunity to be here with you today, Andrew. And I hope you don't shovel too much tomorrow or tonight.
I started tonight. That's the trick, actually. So as it's coming down, you get in there, and listen, I'm looking forward to it. So listen. Thank you so much, Denise, for joining us. We really, really appreciate this, and thank you for watching. We really appreciate we've been doing this every Wednesday. Originally, when the pandemic first started, we were doing them every day. I couldn't believe that. We were just talking about that with my team, how crazy that was, to do these every day. But we're bringing you some of the biggest and brightest leaders in our mortgage industry coming to you every Wednesday at 4 p.m. East Coast time, 1 o'clock Pacific. Thank you so much for joining us today. Everyone, stay safe and enjoy the rest of December.